Welcome to the Relationship Workout for Men podcast. This episode is just a preview of what you'll find in the full Relationship Fitness for Men program. If you're serious about building a stronger, happier relationship, check out relationshipfitness.com to access all episodes, plus tools to assess and improve the quality of your relationship and your very own on-demand and private AI relationship coach. Visit relationshipfitness.com to learn more.
Welcome to Relationship Workout for Men, a podcast dedicated to helping men be intentional in choosing a better partner and being a better partner for the person they choose. Episode 7, Dating is Broken. Let me start by saying it's tough finding a special someone who is not only a good match for you, but also you for her. First, if you're like most guys, you decide whom to date based on how hot she is, an incomplete checklist, and your gut instinct. This basically leaves you rolling the dice on whom to invest your time, money, and emotions in. Stop the nonsense. At least strengthen your dating game by updating your checklist and getting your big head into your thought process long before your small head and sex-infused emotions cloud your judgment on who is a good match for you. Second, relationship dynamics have changed. Men can no longer compensate for having weak relationship skills by just dominating and calling all the shots. Traditional roles were thrown out a long time ago. These days, you're both on equal footing. This requires men to be both the sensitive type, for example, listening to her feelings and points of view, while also playing the strong type, for example, making sure things stay in control. And it can be tough. And what if you choose poorly and marry a lady who is not a strong partner for you, or you show up as a weak partner for her? Well, divorce, alimony bills, child support payments, and a whole lot of emotional pain all the way around for both you and the person you once said you loved may very well become defining narratives in your life story. And if you have children together, divorce can severely negatively impact them for years to come, not to mention the tremendous complexity of managing time children spend separately with each parent. Life is way too short and precious to waste it this way. You know, the ways we meet new dating prospects have expanded considerably. We have many new channels for crossing paths, such as matchmaking through online dating, speed dating, and a whole host of singles events. Certainly, they add to the traditional ways of finding someone, randomly meeting at a party, squeezing the cantaloupe side by side in the produce section, or just being set up on a blind date. However, once you two have met, now what? What level relationship skills do you bring to the table in selecting if she's a potentially strong match for you? Slightly exaggerating, the standard approach guys take to dating is essentially boy decides if girl is hot enough. In other words, at the boy meets girl moment, a typical guy's first instinct is to assess how attractive the girl is. Whether the up and down glance is done in plain sight or secretly, if you're like most guys, you'll quickly have assessed if you wouldn't mind getting naked with her. Of course, we have polite names for it, like chemistry and attraction. However, calling a spade, if you're not feeling the pull to eventually pull off her clothes, you'll probably not call after the first date or two. Of course, there are men who are more evolved and focus more on personality, mental compatibility, and perhaps cultural requirements. However, by and large, if a man's little head doesn't give a thumbs up, most likely the big head will unwisely forget her number, regardless of how potentially great everything else might appear. Speaking candidly, it's well documented that many of us men can be dogs. Not to denigrate our species, but a large group of us will say and do whatever it takes to get a beautiful girl in the sack. Unless a guy has a beach full of swimsuit models swooning at his feet, the average man would never turn away the potential to have a beautiful woman on his arm, regardless of how many warning flags might be slapping him in the face. In fact, guys are notorious for letting the little head and big ego do much of the thinking. So once a guy has his sights on his prize, he'll probably utilize whatever tools he has in his arsenal to get the girl. If he has money, well, he might wine and dine her with fancy dinners. If he has moves on the dance floor, he'll probably suggest going dancing on the second or third date. If she likes poetry, he might even consider writing her something of his own. Whatever he does, he'll put his best foot forward. This is to say that most men evaluate women they start dating through an incomplete checklist. Yes, most of us men have some sort of checklist. So once a girl is showing interest in him, a guy might eventually turn to this checklist. And what's on yours? Are you confident your checklist captures all that's really important for a strong relationship? Most likely, your list contains a hodgepodge of things, such as your own self-reflection and influences derived from the past, often failed relationships of your own and those of your friends and family. For instance, if you think your resume is pretty outstanding, and if your new prospect also has a boatload of accomplishments, then you might be drawn to your new hottie's resume and academic pedigree, regardless of the fact that an amazing resume might be great for getting an outstanding job, but says nothing about how strong a partner she might be for you. For instance, if that Ivy League prospect is also extremely selfish, then after the 100th plus fight with her, that diploma hanging on the wall may seem better suited for toilet paper than anything even closely resembling adding happiness to your life. If your new prospect somewhat resembles your mother or father, you might be drawn to her because she feels somehow comfortable and known to you. Yeah, I know, this sounds very Psych 101, but it's amazing how often we'll date a woman who is like one or both of our parents, regardless of how healthy or unhealthy our parents were in their own relationships. If the sex is great, you may just chuck the checklist altogether, even if there are some flagrant violations of extremely relevant things you probably shouldn't be dismissing. Yes, maybe she'll change, but it's a huge gamble to bet on it. So what's wrong with checklists? Perhaps nothing, as long as the checklist is complete with the right questions to ask, and of course, you actually pay attention to the answers. And this is where the Relationship Workout program is built on 200 trade secret questions every man and woman should ask to determine strengths and weaknesses in the relationship. It's just impossible to ask these questions yourself, so let Relationship Workout do the asking for you. A next thing a guy might do is to check with his intuitive gut instinct. And if he's completely enlightened, his intuition might indeed give him clear guidance. However, if he's like most of us, his gut instinct may be clouded by things like loneliness, feeling time pressure to get married, or simply pent-up horniness. Can you walk away from a beautiful woman just because your gut warned you that she might be a drama queen? Most likely, if you're like the rest of us, you'll start to rationalize why you need to give her multiple chances before you finally say no to her naked body warming your bed. So if you're pursuing a woman with your little head and an incomplete checklist leading the way, and if you can't really rely on your gut instinct, is there any wonder why you might not be choosing the healthiest and strongest partner for yourself? Picking a partner this way seems more like the rolling of the dice and hoping for the best. Is there no wonder around 64% of singles have gone through the breakup of a long-term relationship, and 58% of singles say that breakups are usually dramatic or messy or both? Okay, so that's a lot of emotional pain. But really, why should you care? Well, can you say divorce?
Thanks for listening. To listen to all episodes in this season, visit relationshipfitness.com. There, you'll find not only a complete library of episodes, but also aligned playbook articles, tools designed to help you assess, improve, and manage the quality of your relationship, and your very own AI relationship coach to get private, on-demand coaching whenever you need it. Go to relationshipfitness.com to start transforming your relationship today for more fun and less drama.